Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I am playing Modern, and this is Magic's original tribe, one of the original tribes from Alpha, and this is Elves. I'm playing Elves at the request of Patreon subscriber Jules, who has asked me to update the deck with Quirion Ranger, which is one of the hottest elves to ever exist. I'm talking about its playability, not necessarily the art, but this is one of the coolest, most ubiquitous elves in Magic's history. It was originally printed in Visions, and it's been a tournament staple ever since. And it's a key engine in the Legacy Elves deck that has existed forever. And it's now Modern legal. Welcome to the format. So Jules wanted me to build Quirion Ranger into the existing Combo Elves shell. And we had our conversation about this deck when Modern Horizons 2 was first starting to trickle out. With my recording queue and release schedule, it takes weeks for these things to go live after we have the conversation. And the list has sort of solidified since we had our original conversation. We originally talked about like just throwing 4 Quirion Rangers in there and maybe 2 Yavamayas and 1 Elves champion to cheese the Forest Walk off of Yavimaya. But it seems that the lists have really leaned into Forest Walk off of Yavimaya. So this list has 4 Elves champion. This was inspired off of a 5-0 list that I saw. I changed a couple cards around based on season to taste, but this is basically just a 5-0 list I found. And 4 Elves champion, 3 Yavimaya, and 3 Quirion Ranger. That I really liked that number when I found it. I was originally trying to fit 4 in, but then I realized you'd have to start eating the mana dorks for it, and the mana dorks are the things you want to untap with Quirion Ranger to support this low land count. 18 lands in this deck, which are that's really low. That's like fewer lands than Legacy Delver plays a lot of the time. Like even Legacy Delver with their Ponder, Brainstorm, mana base, Daze, like usually plays 19 lands, so 18 lands in a Modern deck is really thin, and Quirion Ranger, bouncing your lands, untapping your Llanowar Elves is how you get away with that. So 3 Rangers seems like the right number. 4, I just couldn't find room for in any way that makes sense. And then we're just trying to get up into our engine cards. Like this is all mana down here. Just all of these things represent mana. Elvish Warmaster. I haven't gotten to play with this card yet. This is from Kaldheim, so it's not brand new, but it's new enough that I haven't played with it in Modern Elves yet. Whenever 1 or more other elves enter the battlefield under your control, create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. This ability triggers only once each turn. And for 7 mana, you can give your elves +2/+2 and death touch until end of turn. So it's a self-contained elf generation system. And it also is eventually a win con. Kind of slow. Like 7 is a lot of mana and you don't necessarily win the game with +2/+2 death touch. But I imagine this might come up over the course of 5 matches. Realm Walker, this one is a sweet one. When it enters the battlefield, you choose a creature type. You may look at the top card of your library, and you may cast creature spells of the chosen type from the top of the library. So just chucking elves into play off the top of your deck. This is an awesome card. Elvish Archdruid is a lord and also a Gaia's Cradle, so obviously this card's great. Elvish Champion is the secret sauce for this build. We have 3 Yavamayas. So putting Yavimaya into play turns all lands into forests. Elvish Champion gives your elves +1/+1 and Forest Walk. So basically, Anthem the team, unblockable, in you go. Azuri is another way to win the game. Regenerate target elf and overrun. Basically overrun. Literally 5 mana +3/+3 trample to the squad. And then Shaman of the Pack is your burn spell. This is when you just can't find another way through, or you got to get those last few points across. If your opponent is turtling up with constructs or whatever. So Shaman of the Pack can get the game done quick. Collected Company can chuck all these things into play quickly. So we're hoping to just build up mana with all of these early drops and then quickly pivot into an overwhelming advantage before the opponent can figure out what to do about it. Sideboard is stuff you'd expect. Leyline of Vitality is specifically for Plague Engineer. Creatures you control get +0/+1. Leyline of the Void for graveyard stuff. Winding Way is a way to refill your hand. Reveal the top 4 cards of your library, choose creature or land, put all the chosen cards of the type into your hand. Corrupt Decay's removal, Weather's Storms for burn and prowess and stuff where you just need to buy some time, and Fracturing Gust, one of my favorite cards in Modern and Legacy right now because of the appearance of Urza Saga for the most part. Love this card, love casting this card. I'm glad there's two of them in this deck. I hope we get at least one Fracturing Gust blowout in this league. So that's a lot. I've spent a lot of time talking about these Elfos, and let's go make a lot of mana and make a lot of Elves. I'm on the draw in round number 1. And we do have a pretty quick start here. The Blooming Marsh, awkwardly, does not combo with Quirion Ranger, but I'm still keeping this hand. One thing I did notice when looking over lists is that Blooming Marsh, Cavern of Souls, lands like that don't work with Quirion Ranger, which can be a concern. Oh, baby. I hope this is Enchantress and not Ponza. Okay, so definitely leading on Llanowar Elf here, because that's the one that jumps me ahead on mana. And if I draw a forest, I get to just puke my hand next turn. Anyway, I was saying, Blooming Marsh, Cavern of Souls don't bounce with Quirion Ranger, and you only play 18 lands, so a lot of them don't bounce with Quirion Ranger, which could be some tension. But you do also need to cast your spells. Uh-oh. Land? Uh-oh. We're in trouble, squad. This might not be that bad. We'll see. That was a turn they spent not developing an Enchantress. As long as Enchantress doesn't have an Enchantress in play, we're good. Like, their 1-for-1 game sucks. They need to be cantripping as they go. Oh, I'm gonna get Blood Mooned here. Alright, so it's time to draw Basic Forest immediately. Well, awkward. In there. Let's go. So there are 4 basic forests in the deck, which is not very many, but if I draw one, I do unlock pretty quickly. So, Sanctum Weaver. They have 1 card left in their hand. Ugh. Alright, we're going to discard. I think I can discard Shaman of the Pack. It's going to be really hard to get black mana in this situation, and by really hard, I mean pretty sure it's just literally impossible. Yeah, I have no way to produce black mana with a Blood Moon in play. I have to collect a company into those things if I want them. Right, so they Abundant Growth for a cantrip. They still don't have an Enchantress. They have zillions of mana and they're Hellbent. Okay. Hellbent with zillions of mana. Screw beats Flood, right? Alright. Cavern's in play now. My Mountain. Don't even get the chance to name Elf as it comes into play in case the Blood Moon leaves. Oh no. Oh no, they drew an Enchantress. Alright, now I could lose pretty quickly. Forest, basic forest. Yep. Another game of Modern, won and lost by Blood Moon. That happens a lot. I'm not salty about it. Just, it is a thing that occurs. Sometimes. Though they did have to remove Llanowar Elf, so they had to take the time to do that, because otherwise they would have lost to it. If I just had 1 green mana to unlock my hand. Alright, I don't... Maybe I am casting Collected Company this game? It's unclear. Quirion Ranger is the best card in the hand. Or, Heritage Druid is the best card in the hand, but Quirion Ranger is also pretty good. Alright, I think I can discard a Llanowar Elves. Because I have so many ways to make mana, if I ever get there. Oh god, Sigil of the Empty Throne? Card's not even good, but I'm definitely gonna... Oh, I'm losing to Blood Moon, not to Sigil. Though I can still win this game if I find the basic. Uh-oh. What happens now? Alright, can I get more than 1 elf into play right now? No, I have to play Llanowar Elves. Alright. Yes, use this ability. And do I attack? I think I do. Yeah, it'll untap for free next turn. Okay, so we're could actually win this game in short order. We're gonna have to overpower Sigil of the Empty Throne, but if they blank like 1 more time, like if they just land pass here. Oh, they played a land. Alright. So you're saying there's a chance. It's actually a pretty good chance. And they control forests all on their own, so I don't even need to Yavimaya them, which is good because I can't. Alright, so Heritage Druid, come into play, please. untap Nettle Sentinel, and then I'm gonna cast Quirion Ranger off of that, and then I get to make 3 mana with Heritage Druid, and then I can cast. Do I start with Elvish Archdruid? Yeah, probably. That represents the craziest next turn. So I can float a red and use red to pay for Archdruid. Now I'm up into the things that cost more than just green mana, which is good because it turns on my other lands. Quirion Ranger, untap Llanowar Elf by picking up the forest. Replay forest as my land for the turn. And make 3 mana off of these again. Make a red for... Alright, so I have 6 mana right now. Is there a way to get more? If I sequence this differently. So if I go 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's still 6 mana, right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. No, that's 7 mana if I do it that way. So if I play... Yeah, I get 1 extra mana if I sequence this differently. So Elvish Archdruid comes in, and then I can Collected Company off of the 3 elves, if necessary. Alright, so I'm going to pass the turn for now, and then I can Coco in the end step, and then untap and win the game. That's my plan. Let's see how many 4/4s they can string together. But they need removal along the way, or solitary confinement. Really hope they don't find solitary confinement right now. Destiny Spinner. Does that win the game on the spot? They do have zillions of mana. Actual factual zillions. So they only have... Or they have 9 enchantments. Jesus. Alright, so... This taps for 9. That was a really good draw. Shit. So 15 divided by 4, they can make 4 of their creatures into 9/9s, and I have to block 2 of them. Or 2 of their lands into 9/9s, and I have to block 2 of them, and then still have lethal on board for next turn. They're at 12, though. They've taken a bunch of damage somehow. Oh, the lands have trample. Nope, I'm just dead, I think. Damn! We were so close! Grumpy, grumpy, grumpy. Not grumpy, but definitely that was a... Probably their best top deck. I mean, Solitary Confinement's also frustrating, but at least I have a chance. I guess I could Coco into 2 Shamans. There's only 3 in the deck out of 6 cards. Alright, so this is a 9/9 trample. Oh, that sucks so hard. That's also a 9/9 trample. Another one. And here comes the 4th one. So that's 36 trample damage. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I can absorb 13 of it and still take 23. So I guess I can't, there's no way to, or let's see, if I company into multiple lords, but there's no way to get this 1 mana and then bounce and block with Quirion Ranger and block with the rest of the creatures. So I guess I just block with everything that can block, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, that doesn't make sense. I need to spread it around. Not that it matters. Yeah, I don't think I have a way to do this. Oh, that sucks. Got teased with the Miracle Blood Moon. Alright, show me 2 Shaman of the Pack. Shut it down. I got 1. 1 Shaman and a War Master. So does that see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? I can almost kill them. Not quite though. Damn. Alright. Not enough. Just barely not enough. Frustrating stuff, but at least now I know I need to play around Blood Moon. Like, if that whole thing happened, like, one turn earlier, I win. If I just have green mana one turn earlier, I win. If they don't draw the card that kills me outright, I win. So there's a lot of ways I win that game pretty easily. So let's plan for them. So I can't cast Abrupt Decay if there's a Blood Moon in play. I think it's a better plan to just ignore Blood Moon than to try to beat it. Though Abrupt Decaying Solitary Confinement could be pretty important. I can't burn out an opponent with Solitary Confinement because it's target opponent, not each opponent. So, and that does give Shroud. Though I could just save a Fracturing Gust for that. I don't think I want the rest of this stuff. Anything that makes mana is pretty important. I think Realm Walker is less important here. Izuri, I'm not sure about. Quirion Ranger is going to be very important. All of the mana stuff is going to be pretty essential. Do any of these things help me shred through my deck to find the Abrupt Decay or Fracturing Gust faster? Let's see. I'm not sure Izuri actually helps, because they're not going to be destroying Elves, really. They have exile effects and ways to ignore them. But that's it. And do I want the Abrupt Decay? It's just such a crapshoot. Like, if they don't have Blood Moon, Abrupt Decay is one of my best cards. If they do have Blood Moon, it's literally uncastable. There's no sources of black mana other than non-basic lands in this whole deck. So I think I am going to hedge a little bit in that direction. And just like the way the play patterns are going to line up, I don't think that I'm going to be able to leave up mana for an Abrupt Decay when they might have Blood Moon, because they might have Blood Moon turn 2, and I can't just leave up 2 mana the entire game. I think I'll do better ignoring Blood Moon than trying to beat it. Okay, so this hand is soft to Blood Moon, but it does have many ways to make mana, many non-land ways to make mana, so I'm going to keep it. Like, I'm not going to mulligan to a basic forest when I have a hand that has 2 Llanowar Elves and a Heritage Druid in it on the play. So Llanowar Elves get in. Just try to overpower this thing before it happens. I think that's my role in the matchup anyway, just overpower them. Yeah, so they have the Anthen Ice, that's fine. That if they Anthen Ice, it means they're not ramping. So let's hope they don't have 2 of them. Let's go. Yeah, if they just have like 2 Anthen Ice into Blood Moon, then I lose. Good job. But I don't think I can mulligan a functional 7 to avoid that possibility. Alright. They have an Enchantress. Ooh, alright. So that puts me right into business. Heritage Druid, Nettle Sentinel, and I think I want the Elvish Champion here. Just buff the squad, get the unblockability rolling. And Collected Company is lined up for next turn. Like, at this point, I don't care about Blood Moon. I have creatures entered tapped and they gain life. Yeah, sure. Whatever. I should be able to race that. This is my creatures ETB tapped, and whenever a creature enters the battlefield under my control, they gain 1 life. Destiny Spinner, sure. Alright, this looks too slow, but anything could happen. Elvish Champion, by the way, was printed in the times before Lords buffed themselves, so I can tap this with Heritage Druid pretty freely, because I'm not going to attack with it anyway. So tap this, this, and this for 3 mana. Then I work Quirion Ranger in there, get my Nettle Sentinel untapped. And all of my lands are forests right now, so Quirion Ranger can pick up whatever it wants. And then, so I think picking up to untap Heritage Druid, does that even matter? No, I can wait on that. Alright. Bang, bang. Collected Company. Company hit. There's an Archdruid in there, and another Nettle Sentinel. I think I like the Nettle Sentinel. They're gaining some life along the way, that's fine. So here is where Quirion Ranger is great, so I can untap an Elf pick up a land, play the land, my land drop for the turn, and then I can hold up Coco, or I can cast it right now and attack with Nettle Sentinel. And I think that's probably better. So the 2 Nettle Sentinels untap. We have a 4/4 blocker, and then another Elvish Champion's coming in, and I think Llanowar Elves is going to be better than another Quirion Ranger. Alright, Champion's in. I can attack them for a 5 unblockable. Alright, so they're pretty dead on the board. All of my elves are now unblockable. It's whether or not they can turtle up in the meantime. And then if I can draw Abrupt Decay / Fracturing Gust. Alright, they're just conceding. I'll take that. Elf power. Right, maybe I do just want the Abrupt Decays in. I think the maximizing the number of hits to remove a Solitary Confinement or an Enchantress is pretty important. I'm suddenly sold on that. Changing my mind. I do have to be careful how many creatures I board out for collected company density. And like which ones are the most and least important. I think the War Master is still pretty important because Shaman is one of my win conditions. Like one of my better win conditions, one of the faster ones. The decision to board out like Realm Walker versus Collected Company is kind of an interesting one because this is a fast punch of power and this is slow power over time. And what do I think is more important in this matchup? And I think that I think I want to go lower on Collected Company before I cut another Realm Walker. I do think that slow advantage, like that could keep up reasonably with an Enchantress. Like this is my Enchantress, and this is like just a burst of activity. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's what I'm doing. In we go. Also, if you hear weird noises behind me right now, I don't know if the mic's picking it up or not. It's because it just started raining really, really hard. So I've got this hand that is in trouble to Blood Moon, but really good otherwise. I'm going to keep it. I wonder if they're doing like a Blood Moon on the play, no Blood Moon on the draw kind of plan. Right, Authority of the Consuls. That doesn't matter much. I have a Decay. No green mana to speak of. Or no black mana. Lots of green mana. It would be embarrassing if my elf deck had no green mana. I'm not sure if Authority is actually good or not. But it's certainly a card. I also have 3 black cards in my hand right now, which is really bad if they have Blood Moon. Because, like I said, there's no way to remove it. Remove a Blood Moon when there's a Blood Moon in play. Okay, so I have 4 mana right now. What do I want to do with it? Start with Quirion Ranger. Then get Float a green. Pick up Yavimaya to untap my Mystic. Play Yavimaya. I could get Champion into play and start crunching. I could build out my mana a little more. I think I want Champion in play. I want to start winning this game. Would really love to draw an Overgrown Tomb right now. Enchantress's Presence. Sanctum Weaver's good for 3 right now. They have the On Thin Ice. Let's see what they want to go for. I think Quirion Ranger is a reasonable call, but Mystic's probably even better. Okay, they got tricked. That was not the one I care about the most. That was in fact the one I care about the least by a lot. Black mana? Ooh. That's good stuff. So I can Abrupt Decay Enchantress's Presence to slow them down. I could Abrupt Decay On Thin Ice to get my champion back. I could even do that at instant speed, but they're not going to be attacking. So I think I want to just play this Elvish Mystic and attack for 1. And I think I want to destroy Enchantress's Presence. Like, they're showing me a kind of slow hand over there, and I don't want them to dig out of it. So I'm going to destroy Presence. I'm willing to believe that's not the correct way to play this matchup. Like, maybe I just need to wait for something specific, like the solitary confinement to punch through. But they can't win a game with solitary confinement if they don't also have Enchantress, so that's just becomes like a patience game. This Hall of Heliod is pretty interesting, though. Like, do they spend the time to rebuild, get their Enchantress back, spend a whole turn doing that? Kind of hope so. Ooh, more black. Nice. So I can shaman them twice, or Azuri, then shaman them, and start getting the beatdowns in. So green, 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 black, untap this, pick up this one, zap them. So they gain 1, take 5 here. And I don't really have an attack, they can just block. So I'm gonna pass. But now I have actual power and toughness in play to attack with. And Azuri is representing a big beef. So they did spend a turn picking up the presence. And remember 2 turns ago they cast Anthenice with 2 white floating and didn't do anything with that white mana? So I'm hoping their hand is kind of slow from here. But they do have scary cards. Yeah, I like that one. Alright. So time to hope they blank a little bit, or rip an Abrupt Decay or Fracturing Gust quickly. Alright, 2 cards left in their hand right now. Ooh, they didn't cast anything. Well, I am all dressed up and ready to go if this solitary confinement ever breaks, and if it doesn't, I'm gonna lose, obviously. So, time to just pass the turn. I can draw with Peatland, I guess. That is a thing I can do. Alright, so the first discard, they're gonna go down to 1 card in hand here, and then they have to tread water with their Enchantress. They have 1 Enchantress. Oh, okay, they could also just let that die. That is a line. Wait, are they picking it back up to draw it right now? Okay. This way, yeah, this is like a 5 mana way to, or 6 mana way to get a draw step every turn and still be behind solitary confinement. That makes sense. Okay, I get it. I get it. And I'm gonna draw a card. Alright, so they are definitely treading some water over there, though they do have me in a pinch right now that I'm gonna need to find a way out of. That's not really what I'm looking for. Skip your draw step, you have Shroud, prevent all damage. Yep, so this isn't damage, but Shroud does stop it. So I can make some mana, produce some Elves here. Here's Elvish Champion. They gained some life off of that, but I think it's okay. Ranger's in. Just, I want to make sure that when I get a window, I win. This Hall of Heliod is messed up right now, though. Like, this is just a really cool... I haven't seen this line before, but it makes perfect sense. So instead of discarding a card to keep Solitary Confinement and slowly bleeding out, they draw Solitary Confinement for turn. They play the Solitary Confinement, which triggers Enchantress, and then it's like they get a draw step every turn. They just have to spend 6 mana to make it happen. And eventually they'll find another enchantment to dig ahead, and they don't have to spend the 6 mana to pull ahead. Yeah, okay, there it is. Alright, now their enchantments have Shroud, so I'm going to need to find Fracturing Gust immediately. Alright, that's not Fracturing Gust, not even a little bit. I'm going to keep playing Elves, though, because, like we saw in the previous game, or in game 1, Destiny Spinner makes big jerks real quick. They have 7 enchantments right now. That's a lot. Alright, they let the confinement die again. Alright, they either think they don't need it, or they can just find it again, or they have another one. Alright, so they have 2 enchantresses now. Abundant Growth. So that's a draw 3. They still haven't tapped their Sanctum Weaver, which is terrifying. So they could pretty easily just pick up the confinement whenever they feel like it, or just get another one. Alright, so I'm in some trouble starting next turn. I mean, maybe even this turn. Like, they could just tap this for 9, fire up 2 9/9s, and just... Or I guess it doesn't untap the land, does it? No, alright. Yeah, I need Fracturing Gust right now. Like, the Solitary Confinement is just a huge beating. Actually, Hall of Heliod is the card I'm losing to now. Like, we took a tactical line to try to keep them off Enchantress, but the Hall of Heliod just bought back the Enchantress and then let them tread the water with the Solitary Confinement. This has been the MVP right now. Kind of wish they had Blood Moon. Still, though, Fracturing Gust off the top. Please, deck. Let me hit that 2-outer. Yeah, Abrupt Decay is just all the way dead at this point. They have 2 Sterling Groves, so all their enchantments have Shroud, including each Sterling Grove. Fracturing Gust off the top, let's go! Elvish Archdruid is a cool card, but it's not Fracturing Gust. Alright, I will play my Archdruid, though. Let's get it into play, get some power and toughness onto this board. I'm gonna have to withstand an army of 12/12s this turn. I don't think I'm gonna survive this turn, just saying. Yeah, maybe if this Archdruid wasn't summoning sick and I could activate Azuri a bunch of times, but I'm not feeling good about this situation right now. Basically, my only hope is that they fart around and, like, don't just try to close with Destiny Spinner. I mean, they have something like, they have 30-something mana right now, 12 enchantments. They should just fire up all their lands into attack mode. But if they choose not to do that, like, every time they don't do that, it's a look at Fracturing Gust. Right, where's this going? Probably Azuri. Yup. Bummer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, just I guess I can put some regeneration bubbles on creatures. So regenerate this. And regenerate this. Regenerate this also. Alright. So I have 2 Quirion Rangers, so I can untap 2 things if necessary. So I might as well just bubble up the rest of the way. Alright, so I've regenerated all these creatures, and then Azuri's gone. And then they can just attack me for super lethal. 24 mana in their pool right now. You think they're going to figure out what to do with it? 7 cards in hand. Alright, they are in fact just firing up their creatures. 13 13s. It will not take very many of those to destroy me. So that's 26 trample coming in. They can activate 2 more of them. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. They can actually activate 3 more of them. Alright. They figured out the line. There's no way through this. Okay. Super tight game 1. Not close game 2. Not close game 3. Yeah, you need the specific answers once they get their hooks in, and we weren't able to get under them this game, and didn't find the hammer in Fracturing Gust. So on to the next round. I'm on the play in round number 2, and I've kept this hand that can produce 3 drops starting on turn 2, and it's rock solid besides. So in this 18 land deck, you build a deck like this so you don't draw very many lands after the point where you don't need them anymore. And I'm hoping that that ends up being the case here. Alright, so they have Esper Sentinel. How do I want to sequence this? Probably Elvish Champion next. So, name Elf here. It's either Azuri or Elvish Champion. I want to sit on Shaman of the Pack for a minute. Like, I could Champion and start bashing, though if I have Azuri first, then that will get the boost from Champion next turn and be able to attack. So I think that's actually the way to go. So I was saying, you build 18 land decks so you draw more spells on average than someone who doesn't do that. And that is what I'm gambling on here. Like, if I draw 1 more land, it's going to be, like, pretty devastating. I actually have 1 more than I even need right now. And if I flood out, it's going to be terrible. But there are only 14 lands left in the deck at this point out of 52 cards, so I'm just hoping that I draw gas. Non-stop gas. Forever. Ooh, Dramoka's Command. And they took out my Llanowar Elf instead of Azuri. I guess they would have lost their Sentinel if they fought Azuri. Okay. Alright, yeah, that makes sense. Deal. So I think I want to slow roll the Yavimaya because they are clearly a green deck also, but on top of that, I want to surprise them with the Elvish Champion when it happens. So I'm actually just gonna Shaman them right now. Like, just take 2, get my 3 power creature on the board, attack for some damage, and then next turn I can go Yavimaya Elvish Champion in for 7. All of the Sky Enclaves, first strike flying. Alright, please hold it back. Yeah, they held this back thinking they were going to be able to block. Not on my watch. Pew, pew, pew. I actually think that I'm not even going to cast the Nettle Sentinel, because leaving up the regeneration for Azuri, I think, is going to be a big deal. If they have Path to Exile, it doesn't matter. But if they have another Dromoka's Command or some different sort of removal, like any fight-based or damage-based removal, yeah, they just conceded. Nice! They're out of here. That was a pretty good start. It just didn't matter. Rock solid. 3 drops up the curve. Alright, so I suspect Abrupt Decay is going to be good against whatever this Maverick deck is we're playing against. That's certainly what it looks like to me. Is this a Winding Way matchup? Or is this a Dumpster Them Quickly matchup? I think it's a Dumpster Them Quickly matchup. I think I want the Abrupt Decays and not a whole lot. And nothing else. Maybe Realm Walker. If you have ideas for sideboarding, please let me know in the comments, because I'm basically just chipping away at the smorgasbord of 3 drops. I'm just deciding which of my 3 drops are the least exciting for any given matchup, and that's basically all I'm doing here. I actually think Realm Walker might be really good in this matchup. Elvish Champion is pretty good. I don't know if Shaman of the Pack is where I really need to be here. Like, I'm bringing in more black spells, which is going to test the mana, so cutting some black spells makes some sense, and I think that the Forest Walk Elvish Champion package just replaces a lot of what Shaman of the Pack was already doing in the deck. So there's, other than like YOLO collected companies to try to kill them from 12, like we had against Enchantress, Shaman of the Pack isn't doing anything super unique compared to Champion. But I want Realm Walker, because if we get into this sort of like creature-based nickel and dime, they have some removal spells, I just have my onboard tricks sort of game that Maverick wants to play, Realm Walker, a consistent source of card advantage, is going to do more than just a short burst of damage. And if they can apply surgical pressure to just remove the important creatures, like take out the Azuri, or take out this, or take out that, then my board of like Elvish Mystics and shit probably won't beat a creature equipped with Maul of the Skyclaves. So Realm Walker at the max, Collected Company at the max, those are my card advantage cards, and I'm going to try to use them. Another 4-lander. I'm still going to keep it, though. They demonstrated last game that they're willing to fire off removal early on Mana Dorks, which is pretty fine with me. This is the first appearance of Elvish Warmaster. Pretty stoked for that. Also, let me tell you about how Path to Exile lines up with Elvish Mystic. The answer is poorly. What? Oh, they're gonna ephemerate it? Are they just, like, spewing a 3/4 creature into play? Why? I don't understand. Do they think that that's how they're gonna win this game? Just race me? And then they don't even... They probably just declined to rebound it? Yeah. Wow. That was weird. That was so weird. There's no way this is gonna work, right? Like, if you've ever seen Elves in your life, you know that they're very good at gumming up the board. Alright, so Elvish Warmaster is coming into play, and I'm gonna bring Elvish Mystic to the party with it, which is gonna bring another elf token, and now I'm just chumping this endurance that they 3-for-1 to themselves to get into play. If that was Solitude, maybe I'd get it. But it's not. Alright, Skyclave Apparition, that'll get my master. Sure. Alright, and they played an actual forest, just straight up for me. I don't even think they're winning the damage race, much less anything else. Very, very weird stuff going on over there. Alright, I'm gonna save 1 damage by getting the basic forest instead of anything else, instead of shocking in the Overgrown Tomb. So, do I want to just deploy the whole hand here? I think so. Just commit the children of the future. Alright, there we go. There's everything. Attack for 2. Alright, here we are. Played another forest. You got it. I do have to watch out for instant speed removal on Elvis Champion, because that will shrink all my elves and make them blockable, which could be a blowout, but I think if they could have done that, they would attack with Skyclave Apparition. I guess I'm just going to attack with all my creatures and hope for the best. All the creatures except Elvis Champion, of course. Ephemerate on Apparition. Okay. So I get a 2-2, but then they take my champion. Alright, so they can get a block here. Not a huge deal. I was prepared for that possibility. And if they bring Ephemerate back around next turn, then I get a 3-3 out of the deal. Or they don't get to attack with Endurance. Like, they're just... It's not a great spot for them. Oh, they are Ephemerating Skyclave. Why? They're just taking one of my 1/1s to give me a 3-3 instead. I'm extremely confused. Alright, well, the board is pretty stable. A 3-4 is the biggest creature on the board, even though they just gave me a 3-3 for no reason. Giver of Runes is pretty good. I need a Collected Company or a Zuri or something. This Realm Walker would be great. It's time. Time to have one of those cards. The 5th Llanowar Elf, 6th Llanowar Elf. Alright, yeah, I'm just gonna play it. I'm not even gonna bluff Collected Company or anything, because I have so many things that pay out based on how much mana I have that might as well get the mana into play. It's not like a land that I can just play when it's time. Right, they now have 5 mana, which is Hardcast Solitude. Alright, a little late for that. It still hits the Giver, which is not the worst thing. And if they ever tap Giver, unrelatedly, I can snipe something. So that's actually pretty good. Alright, what is this? Oh, it's the Mammoth? Why did they play it as a land and not as a Mammoth? 3-3 seems better on this board than anything else that's going on. I'm going to draw my extra card right away. Alright, kind of flooding here, but it kind of also doesn't matter. Oh, that's why. Okay. That's why they played out there Kazandu. Alright. So I'm dead in 2 turns to this Kaldra. I think I take 5 the first time. And then let them try to get cute with Giver the second. Because they have blue and green creatures, so they can't just pro everything. Oh, bummer. Alright. Elf. Alright, yeah, this is a spot where Shaman of the Pack actually plays pretty hard. Zap. It's not a drain, unfortunately, just a damage. So if I attack with everything right now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 attackers. So they block 1, 2, 3 of them. They take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I attack and Abrupt Decay before blocks, I win? Is that right? So they block the 3, the 2, and a 1, take 1. Or they block the 3 and the 2, take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think they're dead. Alright. I'm going to check this math one more time, because I'm known for miscounting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 will get through. Yeah, I just need to Abrupt Decay one of the blockers before damage, and it doesn't matter which one. Yeah, so I attack, kill Giver before it can block, and it doesn't matter what else they do. They're dead for Xaxes. They scooped it up. What a weird game. That was so aggressive, that turn 1, 3-for-1 myself to get a 3-4 body into play with no other abilities. Yeah, that was a weird game. I don't know if I would have played it the same way as my opponent did, but on to the next round. On the draw in round number 3. I'm not afraid of a one-lander, but this one's not going to do it. Cavern is not a forest for Quirion Ranger to pick up, and these Nettle Sentinels don't actually do anything without the help of Heritage Druid, so this is a ship. This one is not much better, but it does have Llanowar Elves in a land. I have 2 draw steps to find another land or another. Alright, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to ship, I think, Azuri. No, I want one of the Azuris. I don't need 3 Elvish Archdruids. Alright, here we go. It's looking for a land in the first 2 draw steps, and this game is on. We have some sort of wooded foothill strategy from the opponent. Basic forest. It's not snow. Oh, they're suspending crashing footfalls. Alright, so we're playing against the Rhino deck. And I hope that we can just overpower it. Elves is a deck that can just ram through a pair of 4/4s. But if they stomp this elf right now, then I'm probably never getting in this game. Oh, there's stomping grounds. I hope that's not a preamble to what spell is coming. They seem to be hesitating and thinking, tapping and untapping their land. I think if they had stomp, okay. Dead Gone does the same thing. Land, maybe? Okay. Okay. I mean, still hurting here, but that's a start. They also missed their land drop. But it hurts me more than it hurts them, because they have 2 rhinoceroses on suspend coming down next turn. I have to imagine if their hand doesn't have any lands in it, then it's full of spells. By the process of elimination, that would be my guess. If they have Dead Gone, then, and like, yeah, Dead Gone, Fire, Ice, and Bone Crusher Giant are all cards that work well with Cascade. So I am probably in trouble to a deck that contains all of those. And I'm pretty sure you play all the Fire Ices and all the Bone Crushers before you play Dead Gone. So I could be in for a world of hurt. I think I gotta swing for the fences with Elvish Archdruid here. This is the one that does the most if I untap with it. Subtlety. Yikes. Alright. Now I think we're just gonna get tempoed out. I'm gonna bottom that. Don't have use for that one. Yeah, so now I think we're just gonna get tempoed out by rhinos. But alright. The 4th land, unfortunately, doesn't do a whole lot for me. It does let me cast Azuri and leave up a regeneration bubble, but that doesn't matter. Alright. I'm going for Archdruid, just hope they're out of answers. Well, they untapped. I'm going to 3, though, which is a small life total compared to how much life I would prefer to have. Alright, they just slow suspended another footfalls. I gotta put a lot of beef on the board right now. Quirion Ranger is the type of thing that can do it, though. So I think I'm trying to figure out how to sequence this so I get the most bang for my buck. I want power and toughness. I also want durability, but I also need 1-drops. So I think I start with, is it Azuri? Or is it Realm Walker? It might be Realm Walker. Alright, I'm going to start with Realm Walker. Alright, so I'm going to name Elf. There is an Elvish Mystic on top. That's good news. So I can pay this. Ooh. Don't want to do this yet. Alright, need to make 3. Cash Mystic. Bang. Bang. Alright, we're having a good time now. So untap Elvish Archdruid, picking up Nurturing Peatland, because I can replay this and draw another card. And I could draw this Collected Company. So I currently have, I could draw Coco and cast it. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. Alright, so I pick up the Coco. Nice! Alright, so Heritage Druid. Alright, Realm Walker is doing Realm Walker shit right now. And I'm here for it. So, Company clears the Cradle. Or the Yavimaya, whatever that card is called. Elvish Archdruid and another Heritage Druid are in play now. Azuri's on top of my deck. Let's ride, kids. So I can play the Azuri. Another Realm Walker. Does that help me? Or do I need to stop? At some point, I need to leave Power and Toughness in play to manage these rhinoceroses. So if I play Realm Walker now, that basically upgrades 2 3/3s into a single 4/5. Yeah, that sounds worth doing. Alright, I'm gonna name Elf for that too, because that is the type of creature I have. Okay, I'm gonna pass a turn now. I've done what I can. So I can block. I have 2 4/5s to fight their 4/4s. Yeah, they scooped it up. Hell yeah. Realm Walker, busted. Put one on the scoreboard for this shapeshifter. That was insane. Alright, we did it. Elvish Archdruid swinging for the fences. Okay, so we need to beat a deck with a lot of removal right now, and the ability to make 4/4s quickly. I'm not super worried about 4/4s, as we saw there. I am a little worried about running out of gas. Like, just having my board controlled, like, shit like Pyroclasm would get me pretty good here. And that's the kind of card that if they have, they could sideboard into and cascade into with pretty reliably Pyroclasming my board. I don't think I want Leyline of Vitality. That doesn't get most of my creatures out of sweeper range. Leyline of Vitality does check Fire Ice, though. Like, they'll never be able to fire 2 things. And seeing Fire Ice, Dead Gone, and assuming that Bonecrusher Giant's also in the deck is all slightly worrisome. Right, I think Shaman of the Pack, I can't necessarily rely on having a lot of creatures in play to trigger Shaman based on what we've seen out of them. And I still have plenty of creatures for Collected Company. Leyline is a card that, if I'm going to play, I'm going to play in the full boat. I don't think I want Abrupt Decay. Maybe I don't need the Winding Way, actually. Maybe I do. Maybe it's better than Collected Company. Alright, I'm going to try this. Here we go. Keeping this hand on the draw. It's got lots of plays to make, and even a Leyline, for good measure. So Leyline gets Nettle Sentinel and Archdruid out of Shock and Stomp range, or Gone and Stomp range. Dead? Dead, right? Dead is the 1 mana of Dead Gone. Yeah, it stops my X2s from getting deaded, stops everything from getting fired, or at least a fire is not going to be a 2-for-1 in this situation, which is what I'm super worried about. So Cavern on Elf, and then I want to lead on the Llanowar. That does play into removal in a way that I don't really need to. Like, if I could just play Nettle Sentinel and be ahead of any removal spell they have, but I think that the upside of having Llanowar Elf, untapping with Llanowar Elf on turn 2 is high enough to risk the removal. Alright, so yeah, there we go. They had to spend a whole fire on that. Leyline already did its job. It's already worth a card. Nurturing Peatland. And I'm going to play the Nettle Sentinel and the Mystic. Alright, I can set some auto heals to this. Yes, I would like to always gain the life. And I don't need to respond to that every time. Okay, so here's Elvish Mystic. We're pretty set up for next turn. Gotta see what happens here. They might actually Cascade, something they never did in game 1. Oh, Teferi, that's pretty good. They clear my Leyline, that causes some trouble. Kinda, but also not really. Alright, so I'm gonna attack Teferi for 2 with Nettle Sentinel because it has functional vigilance. I guess they could subtlety. No, that's spell, right? Yeah, you can't subtlety a creature in play. It's creature or planeswalker spell. Alright, so get rid of Teferi, and then Heritage Druid. They could have like a multi-turn line here to just juke me into losing to some sweeper. So maybe I just want to replay the Leyline right now. I could also just play Azuri and hold up a regeneration bubble. Or, yeah, I don't think I want to Archdruid. I could also just Coco. Maybe that's what I want to do. Yeah, I think I'm just going to leave up Collected Company. Because that way, even if they sweeper me, I can just float green, let the sweeper resolve, and then Company. Alright, they should see this coming a mile away. Like, Elves doesn't really pass the turn for no reason with 4 mana up, especially when you know I'm holding a 4-drop because you bounced it last turn. Alright, so they did fire my Elfos. And company, pay me out here. There's Elvish Champion and Nettle Sentinel. Sentinel doesn't do anything here. I don't have any forests. That's kind of a beating. Elvish Champion's good, and I think I need Mystic. Yeah, alright. There they are. Another champion. So that gets everything out of burn range. I'm gonna invest in my future there. Oh, Elvish Archdruid does that too. So I'm actually gonna do that. Alright, so Archdruid also gets everything out of burn range while representing zillions of mana next turn. Ooh, they got a spell. They are down to 3 cards in hand. So, and I have a lot of gas in the tank still. Right, they shocked in Hallowed Fountain. Oh, trying to draw a card in response. Alright, looking for subtlety probably. Alright, in for 7. You're dead on board. Figure it out, go. Their deck is scary. Like, these colors represent Supreme Verdict, Anger of the Gods. Like, every sweeper in Modern is in the Jeskai arc. So that is kind of scary, but... Alright, so Footfalls. A pair of 4/4s does not beat me. If I draw Yavimaya, they're dead Zos. Okay, so... How can I maximize this turn? Izuri. How do I activate you? So they're at 7, and they have mana up. I think I should start with the Elvish Mystic because it's free due to Archdruid. So that comes in. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. So that's enough to play Leyline and Izuri, or Leyline and Champion, Izuri and Champion, and put a regen bubble on something. I think I like the Leyline a lot, but yeah, I think I like Leyline and Champion. And then, yeah, this just puts the most toughness on the board, which plays around the most removal. Alright, they're just conceding. Alright, yeah, my creatures are bigger than theirs now, and they're in trouble. Alright, GG's. Overpowered this Cascade control deck full of removal and counterspells on the draw in round number 4. And I have a 1-lander with many Llanowar Elves. I'm going to keep it. Got 2 draw steps to find the second land to start jamming Realm Walkers and stuff, and we're on the slow if it doesn't work. It is what it is. We played 18 lands in this deck. This is what you keep. Snow Forest. Alright, so we're probably playing against Enchantress again. Cool. Can't wait to die to Blood Moon. Alright, so Cavern versus Yavimaya. I think Cavern is like slightly better. It's completely irrelevant if they have Blood Moon and they don't get Forest for half a turn if they do have Blood Moon, if I lead on Cavern instead of Yavimaya. Like, Utopia Sprawl has to enchant a forest, and playing Yavimaya lets them sprawl whatever they want for a turn, though if they end up Blood Mooning, it doesn't matter. Alright, they had the turn to Enchantress. We're in the danger zone. We're on the highway. Alright, so I think that I want War Master into second Llanowar Elf, or Mystic, whatever this one is. Alright, there we go. That's the second trigger of Elvish War Master. 4th round, second time this card is triggered. I'm into it. Better late than never. This is definitely a matchup where I would have preferred Elvish Archdruid over any of these other 3-drops. I have every 3-drop in my deck except for Archdruid available. Alright, now I have this one. That's actually a great one. So how do I win this game? I think I cast Elvish Champion and just attack until they're dead. Yeah, so Elvish Champion gets in, makes another elf, adds a bunch of power, makes everything unblockable, attack with all my creatures. Bang. I just need to end this game before they get set up. So just put lethal on board, ship it. Here we go. So they could remove Elvish Champion to slow me down a little, or they can Solitary Confinement to just brick me hard. Don't think I can beat Solitary Confinement in the main deck. Yeah, basically no outs to Solitary Confinement with double Enchantress in the main deck. Okay. Sanctum Weaver is terrifying. Oh no, white mana, my arch nemesis. Right, Utopia Sprawl. That's free to do and draws them 3 cards. Yeah, this Sanctum Weaver is the X factor here. Tapping for white. Please cast Sigil of the Empty Throne and not Solitary Confinement. Alright, they cast Sigil. Do they also have Solitary Confinement? They have exactly enough mana to Confinement with what's left over here. On Thin Ice. Okay. I mean, I don't like it, but it's not Solitary Confinement, so I'm not literally dead. Alright, Elvish Champion's gone. Ugh, wow. Sanctum Weaver. Messed up Magic card. This deck is really impressive when it gets going. I'm glad this exists in Modern, though I'm not glad that I keep losing to it. Yeah, losing my champion, I think, is gonna be the game. Right, so a second Yavimaya. That I can do like the Lotus Petal thing where I play a second legendary land and get to refire. So how do I actually win this game now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can put them to 11. They have these 4/4s. Yeah, I don't think I can win this game. I'm gonna play Realm Walker. Does that do anything? Like they drew. They have 7 cards in their hand, and they have Sterling Grove. They can tutor. Yeah, I'm not winning this game. +2/+2 touch is not enough. Do I want to show them Realm Walker? Is there even like a spread of cards that can beat? No. Alright. Yeah, I can't win this game. I'm going to concede. Yeah, they went off a turn early. Yeah, it does seem like the Enchantress matchup is just a race. Like, all of the times we've played against it so far, it's just like they go off a turn before I do, or vice versa. And they were on the play that game, so good job. Alright. Shaman of the Pack, I think, is worse than Elvish Champion. We've been over this before. We've seen this. We know the way. The Fracturing Gusts are good. I think I shaved like a Realm Walker and a Coco. Azuri is, I think, worse than Shaman in general. Because if I can't zap them, I can't overrun. And if I don't have Elves in play, I can't do either. So I think, and they don't really destroy with damage, they exile things. So I think we just need to hope and pray for Fracturing Gust to show up when it matters. My first actual Zero Lander, shipping this, of course. This one, another 1-lander, dangerous, but I have the... should I go to 5 here? Probably. Like, I don't even have the black. Like, if this was one that was black. Yeah, I think I have to go to 5. Okay, I'll keep this one. And send Burden Catacombs and Basic Forest to the Shadow Realm. Alright, so Yavimaya. I'm saving 2 damage, though I'm not sure that it matters. Yeah, they had a forest anyway for their Sprawl. And then... now I am all dressed up, nowhere to go. Play Quirion Ranger, Nurturing Peatland. Probably just want to leave up Abrupt Decay or draw a card. I could just Abrupt Decay their Sprawl, but I think that's not how I'm supposed to play this matchup. I'm going to Abrupt Decay whatever Enchantress they put into play. Like so. Alright, so they get to draw a card right away anyway. So I think I decay the Enchantress. I got blown out. I've got burned by this in the past, but I need a payoff, basically. Need like a Realm Walker or a Coco. Definitely didn't need another land. Desperation. Alright, so play this, attack for 2, and just pray to the top deck gods from here. Multi 5's rough. Let's hope that that was the only Enchantress they had. Sterling Grove, okay. It's not an Enchantress, not yet. Someday it will be. It'll grow up. It'll be a real boy. Come on, banger. Jesus. Alright. 18 land deck, when you draw 5 of them, you're in bad shape. That's just a rule. That is how Magic works. And they get to tutor for something here. Let's see what they want. Is it the Enchantress? Is it the Solitary Confinement? Alright, it is Sithis. So that Abrupt Decay did slow them down at least a little bit. They did have to spend a turn and 5 mana to get Sithis back into play. A Collected Company or Realm Walker could still keep me in this game. Elvish Champion could force some damage. Though we are falling behind very quickly. Ooh, Mana Bloom. That's a sweet one. Alright, come on, Fracturing Gust. Missouri, alright. Don't hate that. Do I want to pay 2 life? Yeah, I think I do. Alright, bang, bang, bang. Here's Azuri. I get to at least attack for 2. Because I can regenerate whatever they block. I can push my 2 damage in here. And I can use Quirion Ranger to regenerate another elf if I need to. And then I have Overrun ready, though I'm not running very far. Guess that's not true. That's 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. It is 17 damage with trample next turn. So I am coming in pretty hot. Though I suspect they will gain at least 2 life off of Sithis this turn. There's 1. And then they have the Mana Bloom that I already know about. Sterling Grove, okay. So they are setting up the hooks. They can tutor for Solitary Confinement next turn. Archdruid, is that good for me? So I can just ram Azuri right now. I can kill Sithis. Like, I do have a forced block here. Or do I even? So elf creatures. Alright, that is all of them. He does count himself. Just making sure all my things here. 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, they can just go to 1 and ignore everything I'm doing. I can also... I think I want to Archdruid. Yeah, I think that drawing to Fracturing Gust is my only reasonable out here. Because the Mana Bloom plus Solitary Confinement is a hard lock. Like, that does give them a draw step every turn, or 2 or more with the presences. But if they use their Sterling Grove to tutor up, then that is... then they don't have Shroud anymore. That gives Abrupt Decay as a live draw. So I have 4 live draws right now. I have to assume they're getting Confinement here, unless they already have one. Banishing Light. Okay, so they have Banishing Light and Anthen Ice, so they're just going mono removal instead. This is a risk, though, because if I do draw the tutor spells, or if I draw the removal spell, I set my creatures free, compared to just going for Solitary Confinement. But I guess just removing that would kill them anyway. Alright, so the engine is certainly online. It's time for Fracturing Gust. Ah, they had to discard 3 cards. Sucker. Alright. This is not helpful. None of this is helpful. Can't even attack anymore because they took Azuri. Yeah, we are just on Fracturing Gust or bust here. Sigil of the Empty Throne will quickly make it irrelevant if I gust or not, because the angels are not enchantments. They're just angels. And the life gain will probably be enough to get over the hump. I guess it depends on how many angels they make. They don't have Sanctum Weaver right now, which is the only thing that's really keeping me even remotely close to in this game. Though it's really generous to say that I'm in this game right now. Alright, there's the Sanctum Weaver. They left a red mana floating. If they have Blood Moon, then I can't... yeah, I can't cast the thing even if I draw it. Great. Okay. Alright, so I don't have green sources anymore. I have 2, but I need 3 for Fracturing Gust, so I'm just dead. This is where I draw Fracturing Gust that I can't cast. For the perfect justice. Oh, even better. Abrupt Decay that I can't cast. That didn't matter, though. I wasn't winning that one anyway. Alright, I've lost. Wow, Enchantress is messed up. I think I need some back to nature. Like, if this deck is going to be this popular, and it's... They seem to be, like, a turn faster than Elves, or at least Elves needs to get too many things going when Enchantress just need to like gain a little life with this, or like remove one important creature, or just tread water with solitary confinement for a turn or two. Like, too many things need to go perfectly for Elves here, including drawing a sideboard banger. So maybe you just need more sideboard bangers if you're going to try to be a creature deck in this Enchantress metagame. And playing against it twice in one league might seem weird, but that's been pretty consistent with my experience in modern leagues lately. Like, you play against Enchantress at least once per league, and twice isn't outrageous. Like, I'm not surprised to see it twice. So it's very powerful, it's very fun, it's very new, and we're going to need a plan for it if we're just going to be attacking with creatures. I'm on the draw. In the final round, we're 2-2, playing for the positive record. I'm going to keep this one lander with Llanowar Elves and Heritage Druid and Nettle Sentinel. This has the explosive potential we're looking for. Gotta say, 5 rounds in at this point, that these one landers are pretty stressful. Like, I know that it's what the deck is built to do, especially with the Quirion Ranger involved. It's cool. I appreciate the efficiency of this deck, but wow, is it stressful. As someone who just likes to hit my land drops and cast my spells all the time, ooh, asking a lot of me here. A Dark Slick Shores. Okay. Oh, they also have Luris. As soon as I saw the Dark Slick Shores, I was like, weird, they're not a Luris deck, but they are. It's right there. Okay, so I'm going to lead on Llanowar Elves. I'm just going to swing for the fences, hope for the best here. And hope they're not a bug deck. Oh, they're Mill. Alright, great. I gotta say, I have no fun at all playing against Mill. Like, not even a little bit of fun. Not that signing up for a tournament is necessarily... Like, it's not anyone's job to make sure I'm having fun in a tournament setting. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying. Mill stresses me out. Almost as much as one landers. Okay. Here we go. I'm set up for next turn. Like, the good news is that Mill is the type of deck that Elves could probably just race pretty well. Fatal Push, okay. It's weird they had Fatal Push in their hand, and then, but like, let me have a whole turn of development instead of firing it off on the Elf. Alright, Field of Ruin. That's pretty good. It forces me to search my deck. Oh god, Tasha's Hideous Laughter is legal on Magic Online right now. And this is a pretty low-cost deck. Alright, each opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until they've exiled cards with total mana value 20 or more. And that was a huge hit. Yeah, Adventures of the Forgotten Realm. In the Forgotten Realm? From the Forgotten Realm. The D&D set is legal on Magic Online right now. It came out literally yesterday at the time I'm recording this, which is probably weeks ago by the time you're seeing this. But I was not ready for that. Maybe should have been, but I wasn't. Alright, I'm going to try to combo off here a little bit. See what I can get going. See if I can outrace the Tashas. And yeah, I'll just put Archdruid into play. Attack them for 3. And oh wait. Yep. Yeah, that's fine. I could not generate Collected Company with what I had here. So, good chance I lose right now. They have 1 card left in their hand. Okay, alright. So they can mill me for 12 with the Field of Ruin and the 2 crabs. Alright. I'm feeling okay here with them being hellbent and stuff. Think there's still a forest left? There is. How lucky. Alright, so I need to kill them this turn. If I didn't attack with Nettle Sentinel, I would have been able to collect a company in their end step. Like, I could have planned for a world where where they Field of Ruin me. So I think I should be able to win this game this turn, though. So how do I do it? I think I just tap Elvish Archdruid to cast Collected Company first and figure out where that goes. There's not a whole lot of things left in my deck. Alright, here we go. Collected Company. That untaps the Nettle Sentinel. Alright, what's even left in my deck to hit? Realm Walker and Elvish War Master. That's good. I put those in. I'll name Elf. That triggers my War Masters, which gives me more elves in play, so I can chalk this in. And Shaman of the Pack. Roast them. Zappo. Alright, we did it. Raced the mill deck that mulled to 5. If they had 2 more cards in their hand, I think we lose that game. But, oh well, here we are. Got away with one. Tasha's Hideous Laughter, pretty scary against my deck with something like 21 drops, 17 1-drops, 18 lands. Yikes. Okay, so what is actually good here? And Abrupt Decay can kill crabs, and crabs are the sort of like the goblin guide of their deck. Like, that's the repeatable thing that lets them not just 1-for-1 with spells like that. So how do I balance the Abrupt Decay in the deck? Like, Shaman of the Pack's probably pretty important, like more important than Elvish Champion in this particular situation. They have Field of Ruins in their main deck, which turns off my Forest Walk, though just being a regular ass +1/+1 to your squad lord matters a lot here. Yeah, Azuri, the trample, the overrun effect matters a lot. I think I need all the 1-drops. It's possible they have Plague Engineer, but maybe I make them show it to me before I respect it. Well, I'm bringing in Abrupt Decay, so I'm not like completely disrespecting it, but if I just like knew their deck list and knew they had 4, I'd bring in Leyline. And maybe Elvish Champion is better than Realm Walker just because of the stats and just needing to win with what's on the board. Alright, this is my plan. At least for now. This is a solid one. I'm keeping this. I have turn 1 elf, turn 2, 3-drop elf. Get it all set up. Looks like they are preparing a crab for me. Yep, crab. Crab-gratulations. Elf. Llanowar Elf in play. Let's go. Race is on. We both have our busted 1-drop. Okay, they played their land before they played a second crab. I'll take that. Peatland, and I think I want Archdruid. Let's get that started. Hope their hand's full of counterspells. So I guess like the counterspell they'd have is Drown in the Loch, which can also just kill my creature in play. Same thing. So they did just fetch a basic. Each opponent mills 4 cards. Okay. Alright, Fractured Sanity is apparently a card now. Okay, here we go. Each opponent mills 14. When you cycle this, each opponent mills 4. Alright, that's pretty cool. I don't know who at Wizards was like, yeah, mill needs to be a viable modern deck. Whatever. Live your best life, Wizards of the Coast. Oh god, is it Plague Engineer? Oh no, they just put Luris in hand. So you're saying there's a chance. This hand doesn't go anywhere particularly quickly. Obviously the Cavern on Elf comes in. And then... So green. Green. Do I want to save my black mana? Can I save my black mana? I don't think so. Or not all of it anyway. So if I play a second Archdruid and then use the first one to cast Azuri, now I'm holding up nothing. I mistapped. I'm not holding up anything. Whoops. Should have left Llanowar Elves untapped. I meant to leave up green to protect from Fatal Push, but I didn't do that. And I'm probably going to get punished for it. Though if they had a removal spell, I think they would have cast it on Archdruid last turn. Oh, they can't be regenerated. Don't have to worry about it. Just Damnation. Don't worry. Okay, so Elvish Champion comes in. Alright, there's Elvish Champion. Let's go. Race is on. They killed their own crab. Well played. I brought in Sideboard to beat their crab. They brought in Damnation. Though, I think they are favored in this setup. I think it's safe to say. This particular exchange. The old Luris. Damnation, Luris, bring my crab back combo. Don't think I'm winning this one. Alright, drawing another elf is actually great. So I can play Llanowar Elf, play the backup Elvish Champion, and bring the Ruckus. I get completely blown out by a Fatal Push here. But I gotta get my damage in. Alright, here we are. I mean, 3, 6, 9. 13. I actually have them dead for Xaxes if they can't gain life or remove anything or kill me. That's bad. So, hold on. Am I just dead outright right now? Oh no, I have 29 cards in my deck. So this is 9, 18, 27. They can get me to 2 cards in my deck, which is enough to win. Unless Luris attacks. Oh wait, if they kill... Yeah, they're gonna kill Yavimaya with Field of Ruin, right? Yeah, so I actually just can't win. I'm gonna lose my Forest Walk. Yeah, just because Field of Ruin is involved, like I had a line without it. Let's see what's going on here. Are all my Yavamayas gone? There's one there. Oh, Jesus, Crypt Incursion. Okay. Okay. I'm not beating Crypt Incursion. Let's see it resolve, though. I do like the fireworks. Oh, they're just at 90. Okay. Okay. I'll go to my turn. Let's see what they got. They did not destroy Yavimaya. Hopefully that will be their undoing. Nope. They were not undone. They easily won anyway. Okay. Okay. Crypt Incursion. I know that's a card they play, and I just can't do anything about it. Like, there is just nothing to be done about that at all. Like, I can't lay Land of the Void myself. If that was Rest in Peace, maybe it's a play, but it's not really a thing I can do here. Yeah, I just have to ram jam, hope they're dead. Alright, well, keeping it. This is a good elf hand. I don't know if it's going to line up against Mill or not, but it is a good elf hand. Alright, let's go. On the play with the Llanowar into 3-drop lineup. So Quirion Ranger's here. That's a good one. So name elf with this. Get my Archdruid in. That's the one that's going to do the most for me. If I get to do anything. Fetch land. Took out an Abrupt Decay. And a basic. Yep, Drown in the Lock is easily turned on at this point. So is Fatal Push. Milled 2 of my 4 basics. All of that could end up mattering for Field of Ruin. Alright, what does this do for me? So I get to play Heritage Druid, Quirion Ranger, and Elvis Champion, and I'll put a Forest into play tapped in case I need to untap something. Don't know why I'd need to do that, but there it is. Yeah, the fact that we need to jam pressure onto the board to try to kill them before they combo us out versus them holding up Damnation at all points is just horrible. And they know that. Like, that's why their deck is built the way that it is. It's just so absolutely brutal for anyone to try to figure out how to beat. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, if I attack with these 3 creatures, 1, 2, 3, 4, I can still Collected Company. Drown in the Lock. Yeah, that's not what I'm gonna fight over. So I'm currently holding up Collected Company for, like, if they Damnation, I can float 4, and then Coco on the other side. Right, that's not Damnation mana. Could be Counterspell mana. So 1, 2. Also awkward if they kill this Llanowar Elf in response to the untap. I have to commit my Forest bounce anyway. Alright, Company. Blaze Resolve. No chance. I would like this on top of my deck, though. That is a pretty good place for it. So draw. Shock this in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Coco again. Alright, Shaman and Azuri are both great here. Yeah, that pushes a lot of damage in. Doesn't play around Damnation. Does play around other removal spells, though. Visions for... Oh, just for the 1. Nice. Alright, they're backpedaling. They had Divisions for 1. That makes me think they have Damnation, and they're just trying to find the black source to go with it. So if I attack with... Actually, no, it's fine. I can attack with everything. I can push my 1 damage here. If they go for a removal spell, I can pick up Forest, untap any elf, float 3, and put regeneration bubbles on 3 of my elves. Damnation can't be regenerated, so I just gotta hope they don't have it, basically. Field of Ruin is pretty good. That fixes their black, but not this turn. Alright, now that's very much active. The full Ancestral Recall is here. But they can't Damnation this turn, which is the really important thing. Okay. Field of Ruin. So this can turn on Archive Trap. I did have 1 forest left. I'm so lucky. So Archive Trap is 13, plus the 6 is 19. Fatal Push. Nah. Oh, another target elf. Yep. They do know how this works. He can't save himself? What a useless leader. Alright, fine. I thought I was all set up, but nope. Another target elf. If you play elves more than once in a while, you should know that stuff. But unlike me. Oh, Archive Trap, cool. You have another one? Okay, deck. Need a banger right now. That bangs a little bit. So I'll attack with these things. Hope they don't trade an elf for shaman. Or a crab for shaman. Alright, they are trading a crab for shaman. Alright, and then backup shaman. They were right to trade. They would have been dead. Alright, pass the turn. Hope we're not dead. That's all we can do. Tasha's Hideous Laughter. I don't think there are 8 cards in my deck that add up to 20 mana total altogether. My deck is empty. I've lost. Alright. Out comboed by Mill. Okay, so after league wrap up here, I think that the modern metagame is pretty hostile towards elves in general. I guess before I get into elves position, I'll talk about the new cards. The Yavimaya champion thing was really awesome. Like, Quirion Ranger being able to pick up any land to reset it with Yavimaya is cool. Quirion Ranger, we did some tricks. That one turn we went off with Realm Walker and Elvish Archdruid because we drew Quirion Ranger was pretty awesome. That was all great. As far as elves in the field of modern in general, there's so many combo-y sort of decks, or at least like crazy value decks that like play fair, but that have strong fair plans, but are also combo decks like Enchantress and Mill. And obviously I'm not trying to make sweeping generalizations about the modern format in my 5 league set here. Like, this isn't the entire format, but Prowess and Delver being the top tier of modern right now means that every deck is ready to fight against creatures. Lava Dart is a heavily played card in modern, and we have a deck full of X1s. Fire Ice is a heavily played card. The Cascade decks are very popular, so we saw Fire Ice, Boom Bust, Bone Crusher Giant. All of those things are very good against us. The Enchantress deck is like half a turn faster, and it has Banishing Light on Thin Ice, Solitary Confinement to shut us down. Like, the fact that we are kind of a combo deck, but still have to win with creatures at the end of the day. Like, we still have to attack for damage. Shaman of the Pack is the one exception to that, but we are trying to build up a critical mass of creatures in order to combo, and then our combo payoff is more creatures attacking. Like, modern is pretty well set up to beat creatures. When you play a combo deck, what you want to be doing is gaining virtual card advantage by making like the Fatal Pushes and Lava Darts and stuff into dead cards by just not having any creatures and ignoring them. The fact that our combo deck here requires playing into Lava Dart, playing into Fatal Push, playing into all of that stuff, while also still getting beat by counterspells, by the way. Like, just counterspell on an important thing, you're out of here. Like, Force Negation still hits Collected Company. Like, we still have to do both, and we're basically asking a deck to do both things, which is a lot to ask of it. In the Elves shell, there's a lot of things you can do in it. Like, we don't even have Elvish Visionary in this build, which is a very popular and important elf card in a lot of Elves builds historically. I mean, Realm Walker may have just invalidated it, but Elvish Visionary, no appearance in this deck. How you build your sideboard could matter, but in general, I just think that trying to be a deck full of X1s that eventually combos out to win through combat is a rough place to ask of any deck to be in Modern right now. The deck was powerful. Like, we saw crazy stuff happen, but Modern is powerful, and other people did crazier stuff. Like, Mill that was just a goldfish. Like, Mill was just like, yeah, I'm faster than you. Enchantress, same thing. Like, I'm just faster than you. Good luck. And if you are this linear, like, if your whole plan is just creatures and turn them sideways, then you need to be faster than them, or you need to have some sort of juke, like something that can win the game some other way. Like, I don't know what it would be. Off the top of my head, there's like Exsanguinate, but I'm sure there's a better card than that you could play. Like, I'm just trying to think of some way to win that avoids combat and doesn't target. I don't know. Do a Scryfall search. Maybe you'll find something, but you need something for that juke. The one thing, though, is that if you want to beat a specific deck, you can. Like, if you just want to play 4 Back to Natures and 3 Fracturing Gusts, you're not going to lose to Enchantress anymore. But then there's the rest of the format to worry about. You can maneuver things that way. It's just you'll have to decide what you're going to beat and what you're going to lose to on any given day, because this shell, I don't think, can play open and to just have game against everything the way that you'd like to. But it was still fun. Quirion Ranger is an exciting addition. The fact that it joined the format alongside Yavimaya at the same time for all sorts of forest-based shenanigans is really exciting. Thank you, Jules, for asking me to play this deck. Everyone else, thank you for watching. Make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments, like and subscribe the channel and video while you're here, and I will see you tomorrow for the next one.